Ooh, stepped on a cat. Or almost stepped on a cat. Gave the cat the feeling as if he was about to be stepped on. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Taylor. I post all sorts of videos, but mostly centered around law school and fitness things. So if either of those two are things that you are interested in seeing in your subscription box, you can hit that subscribe button down below. It's probably on the opposite side of the screen because I'm always pointing to the wrong side. So this is a video that was requested, and I realized when I got the request that it was kind of weird that I haven't done one. And basically this is going to be a video kind of chronicling why I decided to go to law school, like at what point I made that decision, how long I've known, whatever, that whole backstory is going to be this video. I was going to do like one long backstory video, and then I realized that there's like very distinct, can you not? Originally I was going to make one big backstory video, just like life story, and then I realized that there's a lot of like moving parts and a lot of different stories. So like at some point I will do a separate video talking about my fitness journey specifically, but it felt weird to try to tie in law school things with fitness things in the same like timeline, because there's a lot of things that like, how do you do that? Do you go like in chronological order, or do you do something weird? I don't know. So there's just a lot to keep track of, trying to keep up with like two different moving storylines. So we're getting two separate videos. That one will be coming eventually, but for now this is just largely about law school. So first time I decided I wanted to go to law school, I was in seventh grade, yes. And it was mostly because I needed to pick a career path for a paper, and I thought doctor and lawyer were my only options, basically. I don't know why. So I picked lawyer, and kind of held on to that one for a little bit. And then by the time I got to high school, I went totally different. I thought I was going to be pre-med in high school. Like all of my high school credentials were like very, very like, I'm going to go to med school based. I was in like the like pre-health sciences club, did a lot of very, very science-based focus in high school, which was helpful. I didn't have to take a single science class in college, but did all of that in high school, and then got to my senior year of high school. And my senior year of high school, I interned basically at a pediatrician's office and realized that absolutely not. It was just not my thing at all. And looking back, it's very funny to think that I ever thought it could be my thing. It's not. So in the midst of applying for college, did a full about face. I had applied to college with basically this idea that I would do, you know, political science or an international affairs major, but like be pre-med, because I thought that'd be cool. So basically then what I did is I dropped the pre-med part, and I just went in as an international affairs major, and that was it. And then kind of as I was showing up to orientation my freshman year of college, I was told you can graduate in 2 years with all your AP credits that you're coming in with, and I didn't like that one bit. So I know some people were like very much like, I want to graduate early, I want to get out of things, and I'm very much not that type of person. Both with high school and with college, I like intentionally, even though I could have graduated early if I wanted to, like very intentionally made the decision to get all 4 years, because those are both things that you could only do once. Like you'll only experience high school for 4 years once in your life. You'll only experience undergrad once for 4 years in your life. And so I was not in any mood to rush either of those things. So threw on majors. And so in undergrad, ended up with this collection of international affairs, public relations, and econ as my majors. And for the first probably year and a half, absolutely no idea what I was going to do with that. I just had these courses, and I was taking them because I was interested in the topics that they were covering, but genuinely no purpose to them whatsoever. And then I just literally out of the blue kind of remembered my like middle school aspirations. Probably watched Legally Blonde once or twice, and then was like, actually, you know what, law school does make sense. And so started thinking about that again. Can you not, please? And so started thinking about that again, and started kind of doing research and looking into it more, and decided after my second year that law school was something I was interested in. And so here I was, I had made this decision, like, cool, I'm gonna go to law school. Genuinely had no idea what I meant by that. Kind of picked it because I knew I wanted to do some sort of advanced education. And it just, there was nothing else beyond that really like stuck out to me as something that I would be interested in doing for the rest of my life. And then proceeded to, so my undergrad had a requirement that all journalism school majors had to take a class on communication law, which most people hated because they were in school to do journalism or public relations or advertising, were like not at all interested in law. But basically this class was like how to not get sued for libel, and I found it fascinating. Like, I loved it so much. I loved like being able to read a court's arguments and why they reasoned one way in one case and a different way in another, and I found it fascinating. I found it so interesting that they were kind of building the law based on all of these reasons and all of the ways that different facts led to different outcomes, and I just thought that was fantastic. I thought it was super cool. I love First Amendment stuff, and so that was kind of the icing on the cake for my decision that we're going to go to law school, because it kind of cemented this kind of vague idea that I was like, hey, I might enjoy this, into like, no, I actually enjoy this. So with that being said, big recommendation, if you're an undergrad and your school offers any sort of legal courses, take them. Not just because, you know, they'll look good on a transcript to law school, but because they will show you if you like that sort of material, if you like that sort of model of thinking, because I don't think it is for everyone, and I think that there are a lot of people who get to law school and realize that maybe that's not exactly what they're interested in. And so getting kind of that in undergrad and finding a way to like test that in undergrad and see if that's what you're into, good, do it. So that was basically fall semester of my junior year. I kind of cemented that decision to go to law school. Then after that, my spring semester of my junior year, I studied abroad. That was when I first started my blog as a kind of way of talking about my study abroad experiences, and then obviously it has shifted and expanded so many times, and now we're here. But that was kind of where it started, and then I was only there for the first Oxford terms are weird and they're only 8 weeks long, and so I was only there for 8 weeks instead of a full 15-week semester, so I got back early, and that's when I did my studying for the LSAT. So I did my studying in March and then took it in June of my junior year, which is a bit earlier, I think, than a lot of people took it, but that's what worked for me. I picked that very much based on the way that I knew I would have availability to study. And so kind of going along with all of this mess of things, I had a lot of internships in undergrad that kind of shaped my, you know, work career and all of that. My first real internship that I would say like shaped my direction going forward was the summer of 2017. So it was the summer right after I took the LSAT. And I interned for the National Organization for Women. So I had decided, basically in the aftermath of the 2016 election, that I wanted to work to some extent in politics. And so I had both this, I want to do something with law and I want to do something with politics. So I kind of, you know, wanting to bring those two together, but just kind of started off in my undergrad time using the skills that I already did have. So I didn't have legal experience in undergrad, obviously, other than, you know, that one class, but I did have all of my public relations experience. So I started working for political organizations and interning with them, doing tasks related to things that I already had skills for. When I was there, I was working on a lot of different like writing related things and like projects related to event planning and all of that stuff. I will say, however, the now experience was a very strange one, and you can probably go find on the internet what happened the summer of 2017. We're not going to get into it in this video, but if you want a weird time on the internet, please go look it up. Please go look up their conference of 2017. Strange. And very uncomfy. So but then after that also did a similar sort of position where I was doing a lot of like communication, event planning stuff for a domestic violence organization in Athens, and then worked at the Carter Center in Atlanta the spring of my senior year, also still doing, you know, communication, writing based stuff, and this is more on like a broader like global human rights and women's issues. So kind of all of these things are feeding into this same general interest area. Then we have postgrad. So I finish those 3 degrees, we're done, woo! And I knew, so I hadn't applied to law school my senior year because I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to take a gap year. I knew that I needed some time away from school to just do something else for a little bit, and kind of I was very burnt out and I could feel it, and I don't think I would have done as well in law school. I say that like pretending I know what my final grades are going to even be for the first semester, which I don't yet. But I don't think I would have gone into law school like feeling as like energetic and motivated as I do now. So very much enjoyed that gap year. I did a whole video that I will throw up somewhere in the top here about why I took a gap year and kind of all of my thoughts about it. But anyways, did that, took a gap year. And so in the fall of 2018 was working for an organization that was like specifically related to the election, was specifically related to certain Senate and governor races across the country. Started off there doing what I thought I was going to be doing was a lot more of the same, so doing a lot of like communications, advertising based stuff, because they were in advertising. We were doing a lot of ads. The way that this position worked, I was able to like, you know, sample a little bit from every single department, and weirdly enough really fell in with the analytics department. So I had some very baseline analytics experience from undergrad because my school's economics department had like an econometrics course, and so I did a lot of quantitative data analysis for my thesis in econ, and so had a little bit of knowledge, and then apparently just something in my brain just like really likes that way of thinking, and so did that at that position, and then had that ended after the 2018 election, obviously, because it was a campaign-based position, and so then I had a little bit of free time where I was just like floating around, just living in DC, trying to get a job. Had a nice, you know, few months of unemployment, and then started working at the place that I ended up working for a year and a half, and was doing more data stuff. So a lot of very data heavy work, and also still stayed within the political sector. And that was it. And started working there, realized I had applied to law schools in the fall, had started getting acceptances in, kind of knew where I was going to go, kind of knew that WashU was going to be my pick, and then realized that I wasn't ready to leave yet, and called WashU and asked them to let me defer, and very fortunately they let me defer both my admission and my scholarship. So we did that, and I stayed in DC for an extra year, and then now I'm here. That's my whole long backstory. Yeah, if you have any like more specific questions about any of those experiences that I mentioned, feel free to hit me up. There's a comment box down below, and also, you know, I exist on other social media platforms. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you are anywhere along the journey, you might have found this helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button down below. But I gotta figure out a new phrase now, because it's not I'll see you next week for another new video. I'll see you guys in a few days for another new video, because I'm filming 2 a week now, hopefully. So anyways, that's the end of this video. Bye.